The dark truth about judgment is that you will keep attracting what you judge. So no, you're not unlucky in your relationships. You're not cursed to meet the same kind of people over and over again, the abusers, the narcissists, the ones that betray you. You're simply repeating what you haven't yet healed. And I know this one really triggers people. It often triggers my own clients all the time, especially the ones who've been really betrayed or really hurt by narcissists or manipulated, or really been drawn to emotionally unavailable people, or interestingly, overly feminine partners. Because the last thing you want to hear after pain is, that person's your mirror. It is really painful, and I totally get it, but I just want to keep talking about it because it's absolutely fascinating. Stay with me here. This isn't about blame, so I'm not trying to blame you. I just want to give you awareness. So the dark truth about judgment is that whatever or whoever you judge will keep showing up in your life until you meet it with understanding, acceptance, instead of resistance. So this came from Carl Jung's shadow work. So everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. It's the part of us that holds all the emotions, the traits, the impulses that we all own, but we've rejected. It's not bad, it's just unconscious. So the things that we don't want to admit to become the things we see most clearly in others. Hope that makes sense. So when someone triggers you, they're showing you the exact part of yourself that hasn't yet been accepted by you. So when you judge someone for being selfish, you might be neglecting your own needs. When you despise, I get a lot of this from my clients, I hate arrogant people, I hate it. So if you despise arrogance, you might be denying your own strength or your own power. Who would you be, or who could you be if you showed up with a bit more, strength and authenticity even. And when you resent someone's neediness, you might be avoiding your own longing to be cared for. In this case, with a specific client I was thinking about, it was her own longing to be in her feminine, to be held, because she was always in her masculine. So we need to remember that we don't attract what we want. We attract what we judge. That's really, really big. So this is why life keeps repeating that same pattern. It's not punishing you, it's just trying to get your attention. And I often say, the universe is just going to give you the lesson over and over again until you get it. So it keeps sending you that same vibration until you learn to respond differently. So that's why the self-awareness component is so important. So judgment is really like a protection mechanism. It's the mind's way of saying, that's not me. I wouldn't do that. But energy doesn't disappear just because you reject it. Quite the contrary. It waits, and it then reappears, and it's louder and it's stronger and it's more confronting again and again and again until you essentially wake up and you integrate it. So healing, I believe, really begins the moment that you stop asking, why does this keep happening to me? Cause and effect, victim, and start asking, what is this trying to show me? Or why is it happening for me? And we often talk about this, but it really has to drop in. So what is this trying to show me? That's the question that I want everyone, myself included, to ask. Now remember, every person that you've judged, or every person that keeps returning, is just a teacher, or we can call it a mirror. And it's an invitation for growth, and it's an invitation for self-awareness. So when we stop judging and start understanding, that's when the lesson can be complete. It can end. We call it owning the shadow. The reflection changes in the mirror, right? So when we start bringing compassion and acceptance and even love, imagine love, to what you once hated or were really triggered by, that's when the pattern can dissolve completely. We're owning that trait in ourselves. So the summary here is you can't judge someone and be free at the same time, and because that judgment keeps you bound to the very energy that you're trying to escape, or that you have that really strong charge on. And the moment you accept what you've been rejecting, that's when the energy shifts. That's when the mirror disappears. And you can actually finally track these relationships or people and experiences that will match your wholeness, not your lack, not your wounding, not your whole, if that makes sense. So that's the dark truth about judgment. It's not about the other person, it's about you and me. And the moment we stop fighting our reflection, we stop repeating the lesson, we stop attracting what we judge, and we can become free. And that's when life becomes wonderful.